Caught my cheating wife with divorce papers during her secret hotel affair. Caught my lying wife with divorce papers during her secret hotel affair. Hey folks, hope you're all hanging in there. I've got a wild story to share, and it's pretty messed up. Forgive any mistakes. I'm typing this on my phone. I'm at the end of my rope and don't know what to do next. Here's some background. I'm 43, and my wife Lisa, 40, and I have been hitched for 16 years. We've got 2 kids, a 14-year-old girl, Emma, and a 9-year-old boy, Jake. Our marriage was a roller coaster at the start, but we stuck it out through the tough times and came out stronger. We married young, so we weren't all that mature, but we knew we loved each other and thought we could handle anything life threw at us. Maybe that was just wishful thinking. Anyway, Lisa's been a manager at a big ad company for 3 years, and I've been in engineering for 7 years. Both our jobs pay well and give us a comfortable life. We were a tight family unit. We always made sure to be there for our kids and create great memories. No matter how busy we got, we always found time for our kids. I honestly thought I was a good dad and husband. Sure, I messed up sometimes with Lisa, but I did everything for her. That's why it hit me like a ton of bricks when I found out she'd been cheating on me for years. Here's how I found out. Lisa started acting distant. The last 2 years were the worst. Nothing I did made her happy. She kept comparing me to her boss. Yeah, now I know why. And would always say how he handled things better. Can't read her mind? Well, her boss can. Don't take her out on dates? Well, her boss does that for his wife. Why was I so immature? I'd ask her what she wanted me to do to spice up our love life. Her answer was always, don't ask. You need to already know and do it. So I started researching, buying books, trying to figure out how to make her happy. But everything I did was met with either lukewarm appreciation or downright disappointment. Lisa was never like this before, so I thought I was the problem. Little did I know it wasn't me who needed fixing. We were close to her boss and his wife. They had kids, and our kids loved playing together. We had them over for barbecues, family outings to the park, game days at the arcade. They'd been to our house plenty of times, and we'd been to theirs. It was no surprise we got close. I even confided in her boss about our marital problems. He gave me what seemed like good advice. I thought he was a great guy. Anyway, back to the discovery. I was exhausted from trying to meet Lisa's demands. I thought our marriage was over. One night, she was laughing and giggling while texting someone. I was lying next to her in bed and got curious. The moment I leaned over to see, she yanked her phone away and snapped at me. She got angry, asking what I was doing. I said I just wanted to see what was so funny. She told me it was none of my business and stormed off to the bathroom. That's when I knew deep down something was wrong. I didn't have proof, though. The next day, I made the mistake of asking her directly. She got furious and denied everything. I asked to see her phone, but she refused. Later that night, she reluctantly gave it to me. Almost every message to certain people was deleted. I could tell because some conversations were missing parts, and others were just plain weird. I gave her the phone back, and we didn't talk about it for a month. Then I got a buddy to help recover the deleted texts. Lisa had gotten a new phone and hardly used the one she gave me. Some texts were recovered, and I finally had proof she was cheating, with her boss, of course. I just knew if I confronted Lisa then and there, she would find some way to weasel out of it, so I waited. I was a wreck, though. All I could think about was how it was going to affect Emma and Jake. The situation was eating me alive, and I cried in front of my buddy Mike. I didn't want to give up on my marriage, so 3 days later I bought a book called How to Help Your Spouse Heal from an Affair. Yeah, go ahead and laugh. I started reading, hoping that if I gave it to Lisa, she'd snap out of this nonsense. I wanted my wife back, and I wanted to save my family. I planned on talking to her that Saturday, but she told me they had an emergency at work and not to wait up for her. Of course, I contacted the workplace on the day to confirm her story, and guess what? No answer. They weren't even open on Saturdays. I tried calling her, but no answer. She finally came home at 2 a.m. on Sunday, immediately showered, and then came to bed. I asked why she was late, and she dodged the question, saying she'd already told me not to wait for her. I was sick of this. I didn't give her the book I bought. I was suffering, and she didn't give a damn. She saw me suffering and didn't care. I was desperate. I contacted her boss's wife, Carol, to find out if she knew anything. I was clinging to hope, and to this day, I don't regret doing that. Carol was just as shocked as I was when I told her. She wanted to confront her husband, but I told her he'd probably lie and try to cover it up like Lisa did. We met at her house to discuss what was going on, and I showed her the little proof I had. She wanted more evidence, so we both decided to gather more dirt and compare notes. I started snooping on Lisa more, and Carol did the same with her husband. It was way easier for Carol to find undeniable proof. Her husband was so cocky that he didn't even delete the texts between him and Lisa. The few texts I'd found earlier finally made sense, and we had the whole ugly picture. The affair had been going on for 2 years. Carol was livid, and so was I. She wanted revenge, and so did I. They slept together everywhere: her house, my house, fancy hotels, business trips. It was disgusting to read. They even sent each other pictures. But we decided to ignore those because we didn't want to scar ourselves any more than we already were. We wanted revenge, but we didn't want to have an affair ourselves. We both decided that if they wanted each other so bad, they could have each other. We both drew up divorce papers at around the same time. Our spouses had no clue we knew. We acted our parts well. By the time everything was ready, they were planning another rendezvous. Carol and I knew exactly where they'd be and when. They booked a hotel for their weekend fun. I went there with the sheriff, waiting in the lobby while the sheriff got everything set up. Lisa was called down from her room. She came down in a bathrobe, looking like she'd seen a ghost when she saw me. She was panicking, asking me what I was doing there. The sheriff asked her to confirm her name and other details. She did, and he served her the divorce papers right there. The look on her face was priceless. I didn't want to rub it in, so I turned to leave. But she grabbed my arm, demanding to know what this was about. I told her flatly, "You had an affair. I'm leaving you. Simple as that." She started screaming at me, pulling my arm hard. The sheriff had to step in and tell her to let go. She did, then started crying, saying she could explain, and that I had the wrong idea. I was boiling with anger, so I left quickly. Lisa must have told her boss, and he panicked too. He rushed home, only to be served with his own divorce papers. Carol and I didn't give them a chance to get their story straight. We blindsided them just like they did to us. My divorce should be finalized in a couple of months. Carol's might take a bit longer. Both Lisa and her boss are fighting the divorces, saying they never meant to leave their spouses and it was just a fling. They claim people have worse affairs and still come out with a strong marriage. They messed up and want a chance to fix it. I asked Lisa what she thought would happen. She said she was just going with the flow and acted completely out of character. She claims she's not that person anymore. I told her she's an idiot. People around me are calling me evil for not giving Lisa another chance. Emma and Jake know what's going on, and they support me 100%, though they wish we could stay together. My resolve is slipping because we still live in the same house, and Lisa is going to therapy and reading the book I bought. It's getting harder to stick to my guns. She says she's remorseful and will do anything to make things right. All I can think is she's just sorry she got caught. That's all I need to know. She's called me bitter and resentful, saying I can't see past the negativity. She apologized later, but I know that's how she really feels. Carol and I still talk, and Lisa hates it. She thinks I'm going to have a revenge affair, or that Carol is the reason I won't give us another chance. Lisa has repeatedly asked me to cut off contact with Carol just like she did with her boss. I told her she's out of her mind. We didn't do anything wrong, so why should I listen to her now? I'm done. I have no respect for Lisa anymore. She still won't give up, trying to talk to me about her thoughts and excuses for the affair. I don't entertain her. She wants me to go to therapy with her, but I've read too many stories where the therapist blames the victim. No thanks. She wants me to read infidelity books with her. What's the point if we're divorcing anyway? She wants to be intimate again, but I told her I'm not falling for that manipulation. She insists it's not manipulation, that she just wants to show me she loves me now. I told her, "Love me now, you mean?" People around me are frustrated, even my mom, saying everyone makes mistakes, and Lisa realizes she truly loves me. I told them I won't be anyone's fallback plan. I feel bad for treating Lisa coldly, but I don't care. I still love her, but there's a lot of hate there too. Am I being too harsh? Should I reconsider the divorce? Some folks say I'm moving too fast and I'll regret it. Maybe they're right, but I don't know what's real anymore. Edit. Thanks for all your comments and support. I'm reading everything, and some of you have brought up important points. I'll discuss things with Lisa soon, but I still think divorce is best for me and the kids. Reading your thoughts has been helpful. Update. Hey folks, I'm back. I've been getting a lot of emails asking for an update, so here it is. My wife and I are in a sort of good place right now, but don't get me wrong, we are still divorcing. The last update I posted explained our situation in detail. To sum it up, Lisa is still begging for another chance and doing whatever it takes to get it. I'm not giving it to her because her affair lasted way too long. If it had been a one-night stand, maybe things would be different. But 2 years is a huge slap in the face. I've gone to a few therapy sessions with her because I'm not a monster and I still love her. One session was very enlightening and made me realize that Lisa is genuinely remorseful. She hasn't handled the fallout perfectly, but she's been trying hard. The second session was a disaster. She got upset about my continued contact with Carol and her fear of a revenge affair. That session was the angriest I've been through this whole mess, and we argued a lot afterward. I refused to cut off contact with Carol, which Lisa demanded. Eventually, I promised Lisa there would be no revenge affair. I know I don't owe her anything, but she's still my wife until the divorce is final, and I want to stay true to my commitments. I've been attending a few more sessions with her just to see her progress. Yes, this therapist handles both individual and marriage counseling. No, I'm not going because I secretly want to save our marriage. I want to see Lisa's progress and participate if needed. Once the divorce is final, I'll step away gracefully. Carol is still divorcing her husband, who is fighting it tooth and nail. She's just as determined as I am, and we support each other on our bad days. Despite the support, there is no affair between us. We're just friends who understand each other's pain. Carol is a strong, independent woman who doesn't take crap from anyone. The kids are doing fine. They know divorce doesn't mean we love them any less. They don't want us to split, but they understand why it's necessary. Emma and Jake are adjusting as well as can be expected. Lisa no longer works at the advertisement company. She resigned shortly after being served and has cut all contact with her former boss. According to her, she's been reaching out for help on forums to save our marriage, and following the advice she gets. I've been reading a lot here, and while I didn't understand why people stayed with cheaters at first, seeing Lisa work hard to become a better person makes me see the temptation. She's not a monster, just a flawed human who made terrible choices and is now learning from them. Lisa has offered me everything under the sun for another chance. I'm still unsure if I have it in me to forgive her. The closer the divorce gets to being final, the more at peace I feel. Recently, Lisa asked if we could try again after the divorce. She offered a post-up and everything. I wasn't completely opposed, but it would be a long road for her to travel before I even consider it. She seems willing, but I don't see how it benefits us. A big part of me wants this divorce out of a sense of justice. It's the only way I can get justice without stooping to her level. My mom and I made up after I shared more details about Lisa's affair. Now she's furious with Lisa, and I don't know how to handle that. Rant. Revenge affair. I didn't want to post until my divorce was finalized, but I'm pissed off today and need to vent. Lisa is terrified of a revenge affair. She's insecure because Carol is younger, a model, very attractive, and owns a successful business. Lisa's paranoid that I'll give in to temptation and cheat on her as payback. It's infuriating to hear her lecture me about 2 wrongs don't make a right. She's not wrong, but the hypocrisy is staggering. Every time I visit Carol, Lisa gets either very sad or very clingy. She's thrown herself at me numerous times just to make sure I don't cheat on her back. Rejecting her advances only makes things worse. It floors me how selfish cheaters can be, thinking only about their pain while the betrayed have to pick up the pieces. Another thing, our kids still hang out with Carol's kids. I never visit Carol without bringing Emma and Jake, but Lisa still thinks I'll take any opportunity to sleep with Carol. It's laughable. Carol's husband is still living in their holiday home, begging her to take him back. I get a twisted sense of satisfaction seeing him suffer the consequences. He's not threatened me because he knows I have leverage. He visits his kids when I'm not around. Honestly, I pity the guy. Lisa has been showering me with affection, which I brush off. We're having a therapy session today, and I feel like unloading all the pain and hurt I've endured because of her. The rage inside me is overwhelming. Update. Checking in. Nothing major to report, but a few things have developed. Looking through my posts and messages, I realized what a great support system this is for folks like us. I've been reading a lot about infidelity to get a better understanding of my situation. During a recent therapy session, Lisa asked for more time to win me back. She had plenty of reasons why I should give her another chance. I repeatedly reminded her that she's only trying now because of the fallout. If she was still seeing her boss, she wouldn't be making these efforts. She emotionally abused me for months, and I'm not one to get walked all over, even by someone I love. She acknowledged her wrongdoings and apologized again, promising to make it up to me. She wants our marriage to be stronger than ever and believes it's possible. I asked if she was ready to deal with my rage because there's plenty of it. She said she'd like me to unload on her whenever I feel like it to help process the pain. Usually, when I asked why she had an affair, she'd give a million excuses. This time, she admitted there was no excuse. She'd spend the rest of her life showing me she was truly remorseful and would never hurt me again. Lisa opened up about her insecurities and jealousy towards Carol. The affair boosted her ego, making her feel beautiful and desired. She knew it was a fantasy that wouldn't last, but didn't think about the consequences often. She regrets it deeply and will live with this guilt forever. She said she could never compare to Carol and feared I'd cheat back because Carol is not only beautiful, but also a woman of integrity. Not once did Carol say a mean thing or threaten her. It was all Lisa's insecurities and my anger. The therapist asked what it would take for me to consider Lisa's proposal. I honestly had no idea and said a time machine because our marriage now feels like a sham. The therapist said all marriages face problems, and it's how we deal with them that shows their strength. I couldn't believe where the conversation was heading and told the therapist to focus on Lisa. The therapist said my inability to listen to logical reasoning might be a communication problem. I didn't disagree. On the drive home, Lisa asked if I felt emasculated due to her affair. I was surprised by the question and answered yes. She then asked if I'd feel better if I slept with another woman. I told her I wouldn't have a revenge affair. She suggested a trial separation where I could see other people, and she'd remain faithful. I thought she was desperate before, but this was crazy. I asked how that would help our marriage. She said it wouldn't be an affair because we'd be separated. I told her it was too risky, and she said we were getting divorced anyway. If this didn't help, at least I'd know what the outside world had to offer. I rejected the idea because it seemed so out of character for her. Lisa has been strangely calm and patient these past weeks. She's a different person from the insecure one she used to be. But I know not to trust her for my own sake. Even though she doesn't want the divorce, she's been very generous in the proceedings. I've read so many stories about nasty divorces, but mine isn't one of them. It feels surreal. It's hard to navigate. Let me be clear. I'm still going through with the divorce. I want to hear people's opinions on this update. Maybe I'm missing something. Back again. Hello, everyone. I've got another update in this messed up part of my life. Thanks to those who reached out in support, Lisa and I decided to be civil and spend the holidays together as a family. It will be the last holiday we'll have like this. Lisa still hopes otherwise. But I wanted to do this for Emma and Jake. Our divorce will be final in mid-February. We split everything 50-50. Though Lisa has been more than fair. She confessed that I've been a great husband and father, so she feels I deserve more. I'm still cautious, though, as she might turn nasty later. I've stopped going to therapy with her because it gives her false hope and mixed signals. Lisa has a burning desire to be intimate with me, understanding that I felt emasculated and undesirable due to her affair. She's been trying hard to initiate sex, something she hardly did before all this. It's upsetting that she's doing it now. Over time, I've come to appreciate that she's addressing my hang-up, but I still reject her. She's adamant that this has nothing to do with reconciliation and just wants me to feel desired. I've cut off contact with Carol for now because things were getting too personal. Someone pointed out I might be having a revenge affair, and they weren't entirely wrong. I didn't realize it myself until Carol confessed she wanted to see where this relationship could go. She said she'd wait for my divorce to be finalized. I was confused and had no answer, so we decided to take a break until everything was sorted out. Carol is an attractive woman, but I don't know if I can return her feelings. I don't know how to handle this. Someone suggested that being around Carol might affect her possible reconciliation with her husband. I assure you, I have nothing to do with her decision to leave him. She's done with him, and that's her choice. We don't badmouth our spouses when we're together. OM recently met me to apologize. He was always arrogant, and this whole thing humbled him. I didn't accept his apology. Call me petty, but I don't care about his feelings. I have a question. Is it okay for me to have sex with Lisa, even if we're not reconciling? I miss the intimacy. Lisa is eager and trying everything to initiate it. New lingerie, sexting, touching, letters, you name it. Sometimes it's hard to resist. She even threw away and replaced anything that had to do with OM in our house without me asking. It's not easy to turn off these feelings. Is this a trap? Am I being played? Before someone says, kick her out, I've tried that. I want her here because it's less hassle until the divorce is done. Rant. It's finally dawned on me now. I thought I wasted all these years on a worthless woman, but she gave me great kids and memories I'll cherish. I finally understand I can do better than her, and I'm going to do better. People have given me advice, and I now see I deserve better. She screwed me over, put me down, made me feel less than. She invested her energy in another man. I can't believe I'm finally realizing I'm over her. Only now does she do whatever it takes to keep me. Now she's investing in us, wants me to be happy when she didn't care before. Now she's adventurous in sex when it was never mind-blowing before. Now she sees me as the king I wished she'd seen me as before. I had to knock her off her pedestal first. Now she's the ideal woman, but it feels too late. Now she's completely transparent and brutally honest, even if it upsets or embarrasses her. I don't think I've ever seen anyone with such a constant look of shame. She regrets the affair deeply. I can see her kicking herself daily. She looks miserable, and sometimes it makes me hate myself, but it's necessary. Why can't I see this as a positive? Why can't I judge her actions now? They show remorse, right? People come out stronger from long-term affairs, right? Why am I basing my decisions on emotion and not mature objectivity? Someone else will get the better, improved version of her while I start anew. Why not fight for this when it points to a good future? These are the lines I'm given, and I have one answer. I won't accept disrespect. I was willing to at first, but I woke up. This is for those who PM'd me and asked regularly about my situation. I'm going to enjoy Christmas with my family and move on. I decided to stop letting my wife control me and move on entirely. We are over for good. I want Lisa to be happy, but not with me. I called Carol and asked her to dinner after the holidays to thank her for the support. She agreed. I know this doesn't happen often, but we supported each other through this, and I owe her thanks. Before anyone says I planned this with Carol, I didn't. My emotions were so messed up these years that the thought of another woman never crossed my mind. It's just dinner, nothing more, unless we both want it. The closer divorce gets, the more I realize I have options, and one option has been right there. As for OM, I don't care about him. I won't marry again, and I'll tell any woman that. Despite the divorce not being too nasty, I'm still losing a lot of money. Marriage feels like a sham now. Sorry if this offends anyone, but I'm still jaded. I gave my best years to Lisa and got little in return. Happy holidays. You won't hear from me for a while. Update. Officially divorced. It's been a long time coming. I mentioned I'd update one last time. It's over. My ex and I are officially done. It happened almost 3 weeks ago. I grieved like I'd lost a loved one. It hit me hard that my marriage failed so spectacularly. I cried harder than when I discovered the affair. I raged too. It was one of my lowest points. Everything's been organized for Lisa, partly on my part for the kids' sake. She moved out, and I'm looking to buy her out of her share of the house. She lives in an apartment now, a big downgrade, and it depresses her. She's still going to therapy and reading about infidelity. We've had long talks, minimal physical contact. I know I shouldn't entertain her, but she's the mother of my kids, and I want to be good co-parents. I'm logical about the situation, thanks to this community and others. Lisa still wants to reconcile, but I think it's too risky. I'm not in the mood to give her that gift. This past weekend, I had dinner with Carol. We had no intention other than enjoying each other's company. Things got flirty, and the night ended passionately. Sorry for the TMI, but it was mind-blowing. Carol is very much a giver, way above my ex. I didn't plan for it to go that far, but Carol was willing, and so was I. I learned a few new tricks in the sack. First time I ever had someone so enthusiastic to please me. Carol has divorced her ex, but for privacy's sake, I'll keep calling her Carol. I don't think we'll take our relationship further. The hormones and wine got the best of us that night. Carol wants to, but I'm undecided. I need to sort myself out emotionally, and she does too. I feel good, though. Some might not like hearing this, but the sex with Carol helped with my self-esteem issues. I felt desired and alive, finally understanding what I was missing. I'll never settle for robotic sex again. The best part was knowing I wasn't cheating and didn't lower my morals. I'm proud of how I handled all this. I wasn't perfect, but I did my best. I'm probably luckier than many betrayed spouses, even if I lost a lot of money. I listened to advice and learned from others' experiences. For that, I'm grateful to you all. You saved my self-worth. Respect yourself. Never accept disrespect from anyone, even those closest to you. Everyone deserves a healthy, fulfilling relationship. Don't settle for scraps. Every committed relationship should include a healthy, fulfilling sex life. If your partner isn't giving their all, don't tolerate it. Communicate your dissatisfaction. If they don't meet your needs, don't settle for boring sex unless you both agree. It's okay to walk away. Communication is crucial. It's super important. If you're betrayed, only you can heal yourself. It took me a while to get this. There are many more takeaways, but that's all for now. I'll answer comments for a few hours, then I'm done posting and moving on. Have a good one, everyone. Update. Things are okay right now. Hey folks, I've been getting a ton of emails asking how I'm doing. I've stayed away from anything related to infidelity because it still triggers me. I'm dealing with the trauma and trying to move on. Since many are concerned, here's an update. I'm okay. No accidents, no disappearing act. I'm still in individual counseling. Carol is still my girlfriend. She settled her case with her ex regarding child custody and finances. She could have been vengeful, but she handled it maturely. There's some friction between the kids, but we're managing. We've started therapy for the kids to help them adjust and understand that our relationship doesn't change our commitment to them. It's hard because not everyone is on board. Emma and Jake don't like being around Carol's ex. I think they blame each other for how things turned out. There's tension when they're close. Lisa still wants a second chance and is probably angry that Carol is in the way. Lisa is deluded, and I'm worried about her antics. She tried something at a 4th of July party a friend threw. I shut it down, but maybe not firmly enough. I didn't believe people when they said she'd pine for me, but they were right. She's doing backflips trying to get my attention now. Carol's letting me handle it, but she's tired of Lisa's antics too. Did I mention Lisa hates Carol with a passion? I thought Lisa was changing for the better, but since I left her for someone else, she's been a mess. I don't get it. I treated her better than anyone, and she treated me like crap. The moment I said, F you, she started trying to win me back. I don't know if I should be angry or amused. Well, there you have it. Y'all can rest easy now. I'm worried about my daughter. Hi, all. I'm not new to Reddit, but new to this sub. I've been looking for good sources to deal with my situation. Check my history for background, but I'll summarize. Lisa had an affair for about 2 years. She was abusive towards me, comparing me to her boss. Our sex life was terrible, and I blamed myself. Once I discovered the affair, I didn't plan to leave her immediately, but it slowly came to that. One weekend, she lied about being with OM, and I reached out to Carol. We worked together to divorce our spouses. We told the kids in an age-appropriate way. Mommy broke a promise to Daddy. They took it as well as could be expected, but didn't want the divorce, understandably. Lisa kept pushing for reconciliation, but I couldn't give her another chance. I forgave her and wanted to move on. The closer the divorce got, the more it cost, but the financial damage wasn't too great. After the divorce, Carol and I started a relationship. It began as FWB, but got serious. If not for Carol, I might still be with Lisa, or worse. I talked to my kids to understand how they're dealing with this. Emma, 10, loves Carol, but Jake, 15, needs more time. He says he wants me to be happy and doesn't want to interfere. I told him he could tell me if he didn't like Carol. He says he's fine with her and needs time. We've had many discussions about healthy relationships. Both kids are in therapy. It's a bizarre situation. Jake openly tells me he hates his mom, blaming her for everything. He's rebellious towards her, sulks during her visits, brushes off her affection, and even cursed at her once. I stepped in and told him to be respectful, which he did. There have been arguments, and it worries me how deeply he's affected. Lisa is trying to deal with it, but can only do so much. She wants my help reestablishing their relationship, saying it was my decision to divorce. I could throw her cheating in her face, but I'm above that. I doubt how I handled things. I'm worried about Jake's lack of respect for Lisa. Jake, wishing things could go back to before, not knowing Lisa abused me. Therapy not helping Jake much. Jake feeling voiceless and overwhelmed. Jake hiding emotions about my relationship with Carol. Messing up my kids' lives by divorcing their mom, though I won't go back to that toxic person. Any advice is appreciated. Update: I know you were worried. Hey all, I've seen your messages. Sorry for not responding. I'm not active here anymore, but no people have been checking on me. Here's an update. I'm okay. No accidents or disappearing. I'm still in IC. Carol is still my girlfriend. She settled her case maturely. There's friction between the kids, but we're managing. Therapy is helping them adjust and understand our relationship's impact. It's hard because not everyone is on board. Emma and Jake avoid Carol's ex. I think they blame each other. There's tension when they're close. Lisa still wants a second chance, probably angry that Carol is in the way. She's deluded, and I'm worried.